I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with a 3-minute cattle market update from Wednesday, September the 23rd. And we come into this week really scared from last week's horrendous wreck that we saw, especially in your cash markets. The cash markets can no longer hold off all the pressure from the board and everything else, and just everything cratered last week. We come into this week just fearful and on edge, wondering what's going on. And we did see some support on the board anyway, coming in early in the week. Live cattle were up about $1 and feeder cattle up nearly $2. And that wasn't as high as they were earlier in the day. So then we're kind of wondering whether this was a dead cat bounce like they talk a lot of times, or if it's really some sort of recovery. But then sure enough, Tuesday we saw pressure return. And on Tuesday, your live cattle were actually down about 77 cents, and all your out fronts were down too. On feeder cattle, we still saw some higher markets just on the nearby. On September feeder cattle, they were up $1, but your out fronts were all down 80 to $1.22, which is really tough on your calves as we were entering the fall calf run here. But on Tuesday's close, feeder cattle at 195.70 is just a long ways from where we were just a few weeks ago. Live cattle at 136.22, which is actually better than what cash is. Your weighted average cash live cattle market last week on negotiated sales of a little over 80,000 head, which is pretty good in today's times. But your live steers averaged 134.93, which was down $4.25 from the weighted average of previous week. Dress steers were at 212.63, which was down nearly $6.50, and those dress prices have really come down hard. And that goes to show, because most of the pressure is in the northern plains where the bulk of your dress sales are. But we think that maybe we're starting to get through some of those giant big monsters that they created up there in the corn belt, cleaning up all that corn to get ready for this year's harvest. We haven't seen any sales of any kind so far this week. Usually you see a load or two sell earlier in the week, but we haven't seen anything so far this week sell out of your feedlots so far. But the cash markets on your feeders are still down hard. Oklahoma City had around 6,400 head on Monday. Their feeder cattle down $2 to $6, which they're trying to catch up, because Wednesday was really the premium on your losses last week. So your Monday markets needed to catch up a little bit, but it's still lower than what it was last week. Calves $7 to $12 lower. Joplin only had 37.50 receipts on Monday, and you're seeing that guys are just scared to bring their cattle in because they know the market's going to be terrible, but they don't know how bad, and they're just scared. They think maybe this thing will come back a little bit, and usually it just keeps fading, and we don't have a whole lot to look forward to, people. But Joplin was lower, steers steady to 5 lower, heifers down hard. Some of your mid-weight heifers were down as much as $20 in Joplin there. But, some of your northern plains sales still selling cattle pretty good. McCook, Nebraska had a load of steers you see on Cattle Market Central, weighed 713 at 225.50. And you look at Phillips, South Dakota here on Tuesday, they pretty much established the light 9 weights. They had 5 loads listed there on Cattle Market Central, weighing from 9 to 950. They all bring 191 to 191.5. But look at DV Auction this Friday evening. Sankey's 6N Angus Ranch is having their fall female production sale, and you can check that out online. That's 3 minutes. We'll talk to you on Friday.